Hello, everyone, and welcome to Niche Sports. As promised, it is 6 o'clock Indian Standard Time, and I told you there's going to be someone joining us all the way from Tokyo. A week from now, Tokyo is going to start, or is going to host rather, the Olympics 2020. It was supposed to be last year, but was delayed because of the COVID pandemic, and we are going to have the Olympics this year. And as you know, that the situation in Tokyo is not very promising as far as COVID is concerned, but they are going ahead, and it is a testament to the fact that the
The
organizers
Olympics this year. And
are very,
as you
very.
know, that the
I'm sorry.
situation.
Apologies for that. There was a bit of a sound issue, so I have to repeat the whole thing again. But anyways, welcome to Niche Sports. And without further ado, let me introduce to you Abhijit Deshmukh. Hi, Abhijit. He's the first
Hi,
Indian
Nishan.
journalist, by the way, who has made it to Tokyo. How's it going there? And welcome and thank you for joining us on Niche Sports.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Nishan. Well, I actually feel like I've almost won a medal being the first journalist here, and it's good. Uh, uh, Today is eighth day of being here in the Tokyo, and the experience has been exciting.
And when you went there, what was the quarantine like, and what were the rules that you had to follow? You said 8 days. A lot of countries have these 14-day things. What are the rules there for media and the athletes flying in from various parts of the globe, and what is the testing procedure, etc. like?
Okay, so all the at the and I mean it could be any Olympic participant, be it athlete or an official or a generalist, if he has, I mean, if he's flying from India, so he has to do 7 tests before leaving from India, 7 consecutive days tests. So once you do that, then you are allowed to board the flight. And once you land here, there's a special app that's made called OCHA that tracks each and every step of you. So you need to show that, and there is also a lot of things in the background wherein you have to submit your 14 days activity plan where all events you're going to cover, which all places, the official places you're going to go. So you have to submit that plan, and it's a long process. It started for me way back in a month of April, and everyone has to do the same, be it an athlete or any other participant of the Olympic. Once you reach here, then it's a long process at the airport. You have to again undergo a test. If it's negative, then you're asked to go further and do all your formalities. So for me, it was a very an experience to remember, because it took me almost 3 hours to come out of the hotel, sorry, airport, and that too when I was the only participant in the flight, the Tokyo Olympic participant. So that was a good experience. It was a bit tough. I think now the players have started arriving. So just a couple of days back, the Indian sailing team has arrived, and it took them 8 hours to come out of the airport.
Eight
So
hours.
yes, yeah. So you can imagine how things will be now when athletes from and all the journalists and all everyone start coming to the Olympics. So after that, I had a mandatory 3 days of quarantine where I was not allowed to go outside the hotel. And now I'll be in the bio bubble for till 23rd of July, wherein I can just go to the competition venues and training venues and the media press things. And I'm not allowed to use any public transport. I cannot go to any public place. Just from the hotel to the official shuttle bus and then to the venues. That's it.
But then how's that being managed? Because obviously there's the games village, the venues. The media hotels are close to the venues, or what's that like? Or there are official
No,
shuttles. What's
no.
that like?
So, there are total 38 venues in Tokyo and 5 venues outside Tokyo. I mean, there's not a specific kind of a sports complex you have in Tokyo, wherein most of the sports will happen. So it's spread across the city. Let's say, for example, the sailing venue, it's approximate 45 kilometers from the Tokyo downtown. So you have to travel a lot. to go to such places. Golf is also about 75 kilometers, and shooting, where we are expecting a lot of medals, it is also approximately 52 kilometers. And the hotels are spread across Tokyo. You can select anyone. They're expensive, but there's no option. Usually, I love to book a apartment where I can cook the food and enjoy the. But this time it's not allowed. You have to book the official media hotels only, and then of course you have shuttles from your office to go to. Right now, there are not many bus services to the venues because few of the venues have not started. So you can only go to Media Press Center, Olympic Games Village, and a couple of other competition venues.
Then, what is the media access like towards the athletes? Are there press conferences and are they virtual, or how are they being conducted? Because man to man interaction must be less.
Yes, due to COVID, you have to maintain the social distancing. You have, if you have to take the interview, uh, you know you have to take with some distance, and then again there are some restrictions, like you cannot stretch it for a long time. A specific 2 or 3 minutes is given to, and then if there's in the mix zone, you can just do the just an audio interview kind of thing, because it's an Olympics. Even the athletes are not allowed to go outside the Olympic village. At the Olympic village, there is a small mix zone, but it's going to be tough when it gets started. And yes, there will be press conferences, but uh, to be honest, it's bit getting tough here, because as the people are arriving, I'm facing some problem, because not many people are aware of the exact situation, what's going on. I spoke to a lot of volunteers here. They said even the response from the volunteers is not so high. So people not are not turning much for the Olympics from the volunteer side, although the official number was about 70 to 70,000 of the volunteers, but so far not many has and maybe in the coming week they will.
And you spoke about getting into the bio bubble and all that involves testing. How many tests are conducted, say now every 2 3 days, or what's that like?
Yes, so as I said before, leaving from India, 7 days test. Once you arrive at the airport, one test, and then 3 consecutive days you have to do it, and then every 4 day you have to do another test.
Yeah. Okay.
So till the time your bio bubble complete of 14 days, after that, no more tests, and then you can go to public places and public transport. You can use that.
And that's what makes it difficult, because see, in Olympics, like previous Olympics and all, athletes could go around outside the games
Yeah.
village and all. This time nothing of that sort. But few individual sporting tournaments have happened like that, but Olympics are on a different scale because there are so many sports, so many countries coming together. Is there like the what is unusual this time in that sense? Is there like the parade that's going to happen, or that's also not going to happen? Or what are the significant changes that you have noticed?
Well, it's like you are in a prison. You cannot cross the boundary. You cannot cross your line. You have to stay in your limits. You cannot force an athlete. I know. I mean, I've been to the Rio Olympics as well and the Asian Games, where you can ask athlete to, can you come here? We will do another interview. I mean, that's what happens. The mutual agreement between the athlete and the press people. But this time it won't happen. This is something, and again, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, for athletes to, I mean, not everyone can participate at the Olympics, for more than one or two. So there's going to be this a bit of problem. Even athletes want to stay in their space because they're here to perform, and I mean, at wherever you go, the officials and the media managers everywhere, they are, and they will guide. It's different, how you I can compare it to the Rio Olympics and the Asian Games. You feel the positive vibes, but at the same time, it's a difficult to compare, because due to pandemic, so many restrictions. So yes, you do feel a little bit disappointed that you're not gonna get too much of interaction with the athletes. Uh, but yeah, that's how it is. But as I said, it's they are going to be. I mean, these Olympics are historic. It's going to be remembered for decades and centuries.
Exactly, and which is why I come to the next topic, and that is India. And this is possibly India's best chance. A lot of people are saying of getting a lot more medals than they have. And gradually, the Olympians from the Indian team are arriving in Tokyo. The shooting team has left today from Croatia, will be arriving your time in Tokyo tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
The sailing team has arrived, as you said, and Mirabai Chanu is going to come, the weightlifter.
Yeah, she
So,
arrived today.
one Oh, she arrived already. One by
Yeah.
one, we are seeing a lot of people coming. We've also got a comment, a question, in fact, from Akash, which I'll take right now. There is hope that this could be India's best Olympics due to the disruption caused by COVID, as it may have had adverse effect on preparations of athletes from other countries. Do you agree with that?
Well, it was going to happen. I mean, be it pandemic or not, these things will happen. People will say, yeah, COVID था इसलिए India जीत गया. And even if they don't win, people say, नहीं यार COVID है था तो मेरा preparation हुआ नहीं. All kind of things. But I think it really takes a lot to be an Olympian. I mean, be it any sport, it takes a lot. A lot of efforts are there just to qualify for the event. And I know, I always tell like be at the right time and right place. It's not any athlete's fault. Like if the other athletes from the other countries are not participating, I mean the games are open to everyone. I mean, for example, Rafael Nadal was automatically qualified for the Olympics, but he is not participating at. But I mean, he already has won the Olympic gold medal in singles and doubles. So it's every individual call how we want to delegate, and the medals are there to offer. It's how you perform. I mean, it's not like that. The medals will be given to the Indian team. They have to perform, and they have to snatch it from other, I mean, by performing well from other athletes. So it's not that tough. I mean, I've seen. I actually met. I mean, I saw the rugby team of PG. They won the gold medal at the Rio Olympic rugby sevens. So and at the same day when I arrived at the Tokyo, there was this guy who actually came from other parts of Fiji because they didn't had the direct flight to Tokyo, so he has to come to an island, then take a boat, and then from there he has to take. So this is how tough it is for everyone to be here. Uh, yeah, so
Yeah, exactly. I get your point where you say that, but managing expectations, especially a lot is expected from the shooting team, the wrestlers, even archery. Considering what Deepika Kumari has
yeah.
done recently, there's Praveen Jadhav whose story has made waves in India. What is it that these people will look at when they get into Tokyo, different Olympics, but maintaining that kind of focus? And what is your opinion on their possible chances at the Olympics?
See, it's all about the pressure, how you handle, on the D-Day. I mean, it's as simple as you having, having exam and you prepare for entire year, and if you're not able to write the answers during your exam, that's how it is. Have seen athletes performing, at the Asian Games and Olympics. It's very tough. Uh, I mean, let's take an example of Abhinav Bindra. I mean, such a legend of Indian shooting. He won the gold at 2008 Beijing, but at at the Rio Olympics, at the there was a third place shoot off, and then at the last moment, just by fraction of second, he lost the bronze medal. I mean, but still, what a great achievement, to reach the fourth place and already the gold medal. So these are all pressure moments, how to handle. If every athlete can handle that and enjoy the game, I think we're gonna see lots and lots of medal this time. And the performance, and as the Olympics, it's not only 1 or 2 years earlier. Every day matters. So of course, you have to be at the top form in the Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, World Championship, and your qualification events. So that's where your performance helps you, it gives you confidence, and then you have a good chance of winning the medal at the Olympics.
We've got a question from Saurabh Kulkarni who's asking, how different is it when there will be an empty stadium? Now we've seen that across sports, but now for the Olympics, first time there's going to be no crowd, just volunteers and staff and the media. How difficult is that going to be for some of these athletes?
Well, it will matter to the athletes, which they seek the crowd support. Um, there are athletes who would love this situation where there are no crowds, and these things matters a lot, especially to the home athletes, because they always want to have the Olympics in front of the crowd, and it's unfortunate to be the crowds are not allowed, but I think that's the best option for all the people of Japan, like not having athletes um, at the games. But yeah, as I said, to some athletes, it's gonna give confidence, because what happens is, let's say there's a new athlete who's making debut at the games. In front of the crowd, he gets into the pressure, and that could impact his performance. But if he's at the at the stadium without audience, that's gonna that might improve his performance. So you never know what could happen at any games, and these are games of very I mean, I've seen at the Olympics there's always surprising factor adds at the last point.
Yeah.
And I feel, I mean, it has happened at all the games for India, especially. We didn't expect a medal from Sakshi Malik at Rio. uh, we didn't expect a medal from Vijay Kumar at the London Olympics, and it happens, and I'm sure it's going to happen at Tokyo Olympics as well.
Now, the other question that comes is India's version of coming home, and that's hockey. If India get a medal, it'll be India's version of its coming home. But for years, we have been waiting for that. And also, the fact that this time there is a realistic chance, but the rules of the hockey tournament I was going through, it's like if, say, because of COVID, one team is not able to participate, the other team gets a final walkover. If both are not able to participate, it's a draw. And if both teams are not able to participate in the knockouts, then it's also shared medals. So what is the a whole scenario as far as a sport like hockey is concerned, and what are your expectations from the Indian hockey team?
Well, the Indian hockey team, it's performing really well. They have beaten all the top five teams in past 2 3 years. I was there at the Asian Games, and I saw how they were performing very well against Malaysia in the semi-finals. It just was the last minute goal that ruined everything, and we went to the penalties, and then unfortunately we lost. But we managed to won the bronze medal, beating Pakistan. And then, of course, we qualified for the games after, uh, you know, playing the qualification. So, see, hockey is something, it's the only team game right now we have at the Olympics. And there are a lot of chances of India finishing, at the podium. I think definitely will reach the quarterfinal, uh, and there are high chances of we meeting, if I'm not wrong, Belgium in the semifinals. So it will be an interesting match for us. Uh, uh, and then see, we have a good side of mixed experience. So we have Pia Srijis, the goalkeeper, who is a veteran, and has been to several Olympics. He was there at the London and the Rio as well. Manpreet Singh is in superb form. So there are other guys who can make the difference. And what I really liked about the hockey that's changing from time is they are removing the tag of losing in the last 5 minutes. So that used to happen quite a lot when I used to see the hockey team way back in 2003. I remember the famous match of India versus Pakistan in 2003, where we were leading at the bronze medal, and unfortunately we lost. So that happened for a long time. But yes, it has decreased a lot in last 4 to 5 years. And yeah, of course,
We've
as you
got
said,
a question.
sorry,
Tell
and
me.
as you said, the rules, yeah, it is same. Well, if there is no team, then there's the only team in the final will be given the gold medal and the other stuff.
Now, here's Sindol Sports. Hi, Abhijit. Good to see you live virtually from Tokyo. They say we had read that the locals in Tokyo and Japan were not so enthusiastic about the games. Is there any change in their sentiment now?
Well, yes, some people are not happy with the games going on, and it's an obvious thing, with the COVID thing increasing, you don't feel like to have the Olympics, but that's the human thing that we can't help, and then we have to accept it. But all the people involved with the Olympics so far, I've seen, they're giving their best. Be it a volunteer, be it a person at the airport, be it the person at the hotel who's security in charge, making sure we are going out of the hotel. He is doing the best, and I think slowly when the Olympics will start, and then definitely a lot of medals Japan will win. So the people will get enthusiastic about the Olympics, and then they'll come up with more support.
Now, Abhijit also joins us. How's the COVID condition otherwise being handled by Japan as the sports contingents are starting to arrive? As you said earlier, the rules are very stringent from the airport itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no single doubt. Like it's very strict over here. You're not allowed to move, from your place once you do your test, and then you have to wait at your place. Even just to give an idea, how the test is, before you do the test, you're not supposed to drink water. You're not supposed to eat food. You're not supposed to smoke, or you cannot even brush your teeth 30 minutes before those for test. So this is for the accuracy of the test. So that's how they have planned everything in a proper way. And then I mean, everything has been taken care. Whenever you enter at any venue, there's a digital uh, a machine where you don't even have to swipe the card. Just looking at your face, it will tell the temperature, and from the distance, the gates will be opened. Even when you enter the venue, you if you're carrying any liquid, let's say water or a juice, they ask you to drink, so that it's not going to affect any other. So this is how
Oh,
the things the Japanese government has done for the Olympics.
and Japanese are known to be very rule abiding, and the fact
Yep.
that they, by culture, they are known to follow those rules.
Yeah.
So I think if anyone can pull it off in this time, it is possibly the Japanese.
Yeah, I met one person who actually is living in Japan from more than 30 years, and it was quite interesting story. I'll share. I'm writing a story on him, and he hails from Germany. So mix of Germany and Japan, you can imagine. I just asked, is it possible? Your story is so interesting. Is it possible I can have your photo without a mask? He said, no, I cannot.
I'm looking forward to that story. You must follow Abhijit on Twitter. He did a story on a German surfer who recently qualified. He's been following, he's putting out all these pictures. So, you must follow Abhijit on social media. And finally, what else can we expect from the Olympics from a larger scale? I know tennis, there have been withdrawals and so on and so forth. But, for example, previous, like till 2016, we were looking forward to Usain Bolt running. We were looking forward to Michael Phelps in the pool. What are the contests that people are looking forward to in these Olympics?
Well, it's a cycle that's keep going on. The legend goes and the new heroes comes. So look, I mean, Justin Gatlin is still there. So he recently, I mean, in his the Usain Bolt's last race in 100-meter, he defeated Bolt. So he's going to be at the Olympics, and then there are and today as well, just got to know that Sumit Nagal is also qualified for the Olympics in the singles, and there are a lot of other athletes. I mean, the list is endless. You have Ryan Lochte in the swimming. I mean, our Indian athletes are also
Of course.
very competitive. I am big fan of Saurabh Chaudhary's game. I think the way he has won the gold medal at the Asian Games in his first event, it was simply outstanding, and just show what kind of a character he has. Neeraj Chopra is another my favorite athlete. He's just been doing such a good performance at the. He won his first gold at the World Junior Championship in 2016. Then he won at the Commonwealth Games and the Asian Games, and I think he's a rock star for me.
I
I
agree.
I hope he finish on the podium this time, and will become the first Indian athlete to win a medal at track and field in the Olympics. We have lost. We have recently lost Milka Sirji, and I think it will be a great tribute for him.
I think so, and I agree. You're taking so many of these Indian athletes' names, especially Saurabh Chaudhary. Recently, I think Time Magazine did a feature on him as well, and I think he was the only Indian athlete to be there. So there are these names that have cropped up in the last few years, and it's really good signs for Indian sports in general.
Yeah, I mean, look, credit to all the things that's happening at the grassroots. I mean, I've seen how the sports has changed. I love to follow multi-sports event, and what Khelo India has done and for the Indian sports has given that feeling of playing at the multi-sports events. So things are changing, and I think people are taking sports as their a serious profession. And I've seen the schemes that's coming by the governments. Like for example, the top scheme, Target Olympic Podium scheme. Such things are changing a bit. I mean, that is not a drastic change, but it helps a lot. And we see athletes now going to train before the Olympics. Let's for example, Mirabai Chanu went to USA, the shooting team went to Croatia, and other athletes, and Neeraj is right now in Sweden. So things are changing. I don't remember if this had happened before as well, where I mean, in the previous Olympic, yes, it has happened, but not way back where athlete has gone and supported by the government, to at such a large extent. And and then the athletes also, they don't have fear of losing. So there was a time when, oh, you're the first time at the Olympics, you are in that different zone. Oh, I'm at first Olympics, and there's a bit of confidence. It's already down, and you think, okay, now we're gonna compete against the Europeans and Americans and Australians. But now I feel that fear is going. So I'll probably, if my target, I mean, what I think is at least we should win at least 8 medals this time, at least 8. Anything above 8 is icing on the cake, I would say.
No, that's fantastic. That was going to be my next question. If there is a number, what is the number you will put? You answered it, and eight will be good because anyway, as you know, the previous sports minister Kiran Rijiju had given a target that by 2028 Olympics, India should target to be in the top 10. Now, if that has to happen, that whole thing has to start now with the
Yeah,
Olympics, and
yeah,
the results we have seen in the lead up to the Olympics have been promising also in that regard.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, now if you see all the athletes right now, we can expect at least, I mean, these are telling 2 to 3 medals from shooting contingent, a couple of medals from boxing. I mean, of course, Amit Pangal is in tremendous form, and so is Vikas Krishnan Yadav. He's a veteran. He has won the medal at the Asian Games and Commonwealth Games. He's just performing consistently, so we can expect medal from him. And of course, Mirabai Chanu is also there. Mary Kom is there. So we can expect a couple of medals from boxer. Wrestling, we can expect. at least two medals. Bajrang Punia, I think for sure he is likely to win medal. And Vinesh Fogart is there. Again, we can expect a medal from PV Sindhu. So and there going to be another surprising factor. So I think eight will be the par. I hope we win more and more medals. But again, as I said, it's again on the D-Day how the athletes perform. And I think if what I've seen so far is the person who enjoys the game has a good probability of winning the medal. I'll just give a short a small example of and how the discipline also comes into picture. So I was at the Rio Games, and PV Sindhu has won the silver medal. And I was speaking to Gopichan sir, and he was telling, like, it was almost 3:30 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And I was speaking to Gopichan sir, and he said, Sindhu is actually very hungry because just she just had the breakfast in the morning, and then the final tension and everything. Then have a three-set match. Then there's a medal ceremony. Then there's a you have to give the test. I mean, your and then that happened, and then the interviews of everyone. So she was very hungry. So I thought to make an impression, and I had this Haldiram ka chuda with me, and I offered PV Sindhu, I know you're hungry. Can you have this? So imagine you have won a silver medal, the first silver medal of your country, and you're so hungry, and it's like, okay, you have now got a big achievement. And I offered, and he said, no, 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 thank you. So that's how the discipline is. Even after winning a medal, which has no other Indian has won for you at the Olympics, to have that discipline and to maintain that, it takes a lot. So this disciplines also matters a lot. Small things that make a lot of difference. I mean, I don't know if how could be things with us. For example, if we have done a big work, let's say शादी का बहुत बड़ा काम हो गया, and then we enjoy the other things. So just imagine you've achieved the minimum goal you were given, and she won the silver medal, and she made how disciplined she is. So I think that's these things also matters a lot.
That's absolutely true. And as far as the story goes, even PV Sindhu didn't have her phone for a long time. She didn't
Yeah.
use mobile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Gopichan sir took the mobile from her for about 3 months before the Olympics. I think the same thing is been done with right now with many athletes.
Wow. And it's also fascinating because there is also a luck factor that needs to come into play, because we know that Vinesh Fogart in Rio had gotten a very bad injury,
Yep.
and but she's looking very good this time. Hopefully, that luck favors her, and of course the other athletes as well, when it is needed the most.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, Vinesh, as you said, this is the first Indian wrestler who won at the Asian Games, and I was there to witness her bout. I think she was simply superb, and I could feel, how hungry she is now to win the medal at the Olympics, because she was looking good at the Olympics as well, at the Rio Olympics. But now I think she has prepared a lot, and then she actually qualified in the 2019 World Championship. So she got an extra year to prepare, and so does the Bajrang Punia and the other athletes like Ravi Dahiya and Deepak Punia.
Perfect. Yes, we hope it's a great campaign. And thank you so much for joining us. I think I've asked all the questions. We've also been lucky to have some questions from the audience. All I will tell you is thank you for joining us. But most importantly, look after yourself throughout
Yep,
the weeks that you're there in Tokyo.
sure.
Have fun, but look after yourself and keep bringing those interesting stories. I've had the pleasure of reading a few, and I'm looking forward to reading a lot more from you. And keep posting those pictures across your
Yeah.
handles as well.
Yeah, I mean, just to make clear, I'm right now at my hotel room, so that's why I'm not wearing the mask. Else, the moment I step out of the hotel, I have to wear the mask all the time.
Absolutely, I know you will take care of yourself. You will have a look at all the rules and regulations, follow them, and yes, just have a good Olympics. We hope India does too. Everyone, please do follow Abhijit across all social media platforms. He's on Facebook, he's also on Twitter, and keep following all those updates. You can also follow Niche Sports. Click on the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, press the bell icon for all the updates, and follow us across all the social media platforms because there is a lot more content coming in store for you. Thank you so much, everyone. And yes, good luck, Abhijit, and good luck, Team India.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Nishan.